Hello, my name is Lima. Welcome back for another episode of Curtain Steel in Supreme Hero Ultimate. In previous episodes, Spain finally fell. And, yeah, we still got a lot of troops in there, but that's probably fine. I mean, it depends what the French are doing next. They probably will be declaring another war soon enough. And it's probably either going to be Italy, Belgium, maybe West Germany. I don't know if it's going to be West Germany, though. Or it could even be Britain, for all we know. But one thing is for sure, there is at least one less nation in the NATO now, so they are down to 79. Oh wait, that increased the amount of nations because there were, like, Sahara, and I think also the Guinea over here that got independence. Yeah, they became NATO aligned now. But I suppose it is time to start advancing around here a little bit. Cut off the border there, we can start destroying some of the enemy units over here. They're very low on supplies. Be able to push them back. We captured the airfield over here, so that is going to flip most of this back, I presume. But there might be a little bit, or a few pockets there that will be left around. Move these into Cusco, and then I suppose these could move into the mountains, or next to the mountains here. Got some Cuban units over here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start taking some of these tanks, push them forward. We'll leave, these close to the area here. Still, oh, there we go. Battle started. Right, so we did actually not capture this, did we? Do we have any more tanks around here? I mean, we got these, of course. Oh. Did we send all of these back? We did. Okay, well, let's just entrench you into the city then. And there we go. Those are being dealt with. We'll just send the engineers inside. And I suppose, well, there's that one. We could probably go after next. Of course, we do also have a tank group over here. Let's just bring these up north, shall we? At least around here. We got some infantry over here that we could certainly utilize. How many do we have total in these two? 13. Quite a large number. Let's just group these up. Start clearing out some of the sort of flank area over here. Or anything south of the river. Or on the, as you could say, on the right bank of the river, as opposed to the left bank, not left flank. Okay, well, so there's a lot of troops around here, especially a lot of French stuff in there. Now they of course have a lot of planes moving about in their territory, but I don't know if I can actually shoot them down. Possibly. There's mostly nations that don't have range to move back to their own airports or anything like that. There we go, so that's going down. How is Peru doing? Clear out some of the troops here. Let's just push further. I mean, if we could cut off this area, I mean, they can still cross the rivers. I suppose it doesn't actually do that big a difference. And they got some troops moving about here. Alright. Well, that is something that we can do things about. Moving some of these tanks to start clearing out, or cutting off some of these enemy pushes that they have been doing. Oh, there we go. There was a Peruvian patrol boat there that got sunk by our artillery. I think it's time to push in the front line a little bit over here. And then I suppose we could just go into there. That is a supply truck, so that's not going to be able to withstand our forces all that long. Let's cut off the path over here, destroy that motorized engineer, shall we? There we go. Then we're going to get in position to capture another village here. And that is going to be a crucial village in the sense that it is going to start spreading the supplies, or allowing us to continue further along here. Because if we start going down this way, I don't think we'll have the supplies to reach there. But who knows. But I think with these two groups we can push pretty far in. Those can destroy the Cuban unit there. Also, Cuba, why are you fighting against us? Suppose you are still aligning. Well, actually, you are still allied to Portugal. Oh, alright. There we go. That's a town captured. Because if we were to advance through here, should still be able to push in pretty far in with the supplies that we have in here. And of course, now the supplies from this side will probably reach once we get around this area. So we'll probably be able to push in pretty far, and if we can just sort of shorten the front line over here quite drastically, then we should be in pretty good situation. It looks like the West German want to buy a lot of my petroleum. And Cameroon wants to buy some rubber. Sure. But yeah, I think Peru is probably going to be the next nation to surrender in here. They luckily do not have any colonies, so that's not going to be a problem. Let's get over here, capture the town. We did bring in the tanks, didn't we? Yeah, we did. What I could do is maybe bring them all the way here, capture that town. It doesn't have that many garrisons. We bring our artillery a little bit closer. While we capture that, and then we'll probably head over here, capture these two, then go north along the road here, and then turn east. And the tanks can maybe capture a little bit over there as well. There we go, that's got to be a few more things for them to do. Meanwhile, we got the infantry stack over here. Let's just go ahead and destroy yet another set of garrisons. And then back to Peru. Let's just go ahead and send some tanks over here to intercept that Sherman. I don't think that Sherman is going to be a match for these tanks, to be fair, especially since we've got 7 times more than what they have units in this particular combat. Ah, there we go. That has been dealt with. Sounds like the battle has started over here, so we'll be destroying these fairly quickly. Let's enter in there. And we're going to go after that one, I suppose. And maybe these two. Then turn back to go for that one. We also got these ready to advance on the last, well, not really the last, but another town to the south west of the current main front here towards Brazil. Another battle starting over here next to the, or close to the coast. I'm gonna keep moving actually. We'll be able to destroy the garrison fairly soon. Did we get the tanks in here? We did. Move them closer. Libya is sort of a teetering between us and the NATO. Do we have a lot of unemployment, by the way? We haven't. Oh, we've got 4.1%. Let's have a look about our situation. Do we have? We've got a little bit of extra industrial goods production. We're not contracting anything. I think we might want to get one more of these though. Build that one first, so that we'll at least guarantee to have a decent stockpile of industrial goods. Plus, in theory, we might be able to start selling some of them. Increase the minimum price a little bit though, before we start doing that. I suppose once that's completed, we're going to start increasing the consumer goods production. We've still got a decent electric power production as well. That is something that we could probably provide to some of the nations around us. Who's actually the biggest exporter of that? USA, Canada, UK, Australia. I mean, USA is exporting a lot. Keeping the front moving over here in the south. Or in the Peruvian coast. Oh, there we go. We got the military vessels, 57. Does that actually unlock our first carrier? Nope. It does not. There might be some new... Oh, actually, does that? Oh, yeah. It unlocks the military vessel 61 and submarine designs level 3. Well, that could be useful. We could probably push these further in. Slowly cleaning up more and more of the mess that we've left behind. That's the supply situation. It's basically 0. That's not ideal. Let's go ahead and make sure to send in someone over here, because I have a feeling that, yeah, the supplies aren't really spreading around that blip over there. We're losing control slowly but surely. Petroleum to Norway, alright. How's the situation in... Oh, right, the Argentinians are pushing in here. And I suppose we did capture that. Go ahead and send these closer to the west. Capture yet another place, and these tanks can push in now. There's not that much garrisons left in there, and I suppose the damaged one we can leave at, or have captured there. There's all the rest of these. We'll start heading northwest along the road. Okay, yeah, staying over there, good. Just what I had in mind. And the tanks can get across the river now. Capture that one. I'm just going to have them go northeast. The infantry will clear out most of this. And then head back to the coast. The tanks can probably start clearing out some of this. And closer to the coast. Right, now. How is France doing in terms of economy? I believe they got a bit of debt going on. Oh, they got a massive unemployment. Eritrea has been eliminated. Alright. That's good, because that does reduce the NATO-aligned nations down to 78 again. From the 79 that they had not that long ago. Or after the Spain fell. Ah, there we go. Looks like this attack is going quite nicely. Let's just push in. All the infantry has taken a bit of damage over time, but it's not really that bad yet. These are pushing further northwest, and then how are we doing in Peru? There's some friendly units pushing pretty far in. I suppose these could probably start pushing closer to the next town, while our secondary tanks, or older tanks, can push in. Then we've got a bit more infantry over here that can be pulled in. Right, so we've got some infantry moving in there to capture that. Because the supply situation is... Well, actually, it has started getting a bit of supplies. I think it's spreading from the north, to be fair. Yeah, that kind of seems to be the case. Well, I'm fine with that. Let's actually have a look at... or have someone be on the road there. That's probably going to be the safer option. We can capture a lot more areas. Well, not necessarily that much more, but it just means that we won't be losing quite as much. And we're not that far away from Lima, actually. Oh, well, there we go. West Germany wants to buy some agriculture from us. Well, about time. There's not a lot of nations in the world that need that from us. Or want to buy that from us. So whenever there's a chance to sell some, I will take it. Oh, they got a plane in here. Oh no. Do we have any sort of anti-aircraft guns in here? Especially the rocket kind. We do. Alright, well, let's bring you in. Still not entirely sure if the supplies are spreading fast enough over here, but I suppose once we reach the crossroad over here, it's going to be a lot easier once more. Right, so our allies are trying to push in towards Lima, but I think we should probably use our tanks to capture that one next. I suppose we also got some infantry over here that could be pushed all the way there. Well, I think what we're going to do with these infantry units is start pushing southwest. Start going, or clearing out a lot of the towns on the coast. Although I suppose we've got a lot of tanks for that we can utilise. If they can get supplies. Which is not guaranteed. There is an airfield there. We'll probably bring in some... Oh, you should be pushed along the road there, I reckon. Bring in some artillery. Down this way. Got some more anti-aircraft guns over here. Bring these on as well. And are the tanks ready? Well, we've got a little bit of supplies in here at least, so I think we can capture that soon enough. Losing also a bit of cash, which is not great, but... There's not a massive amount. Still got a decent inflation. And once we get another consumer goods production, I think that's going to give us even more money. Because the price is still quite a bit more than what the production cost is for us, and I have a feeling that there's pretty good... yeah, selling conditions favourable. Petroleum. Consumer goods. Actually offering good money there. And then consumer goods. Alright. Oh, we need to pull back from this combat and resupply. Don't think we have any supplies in here yet, but I have a feeling that it will spread in there eventually. Guadeloupe and Polynesia have allied, alright. And did we... well, we could clear out some of those troops there, but I don't think we have a massive need to do that right now. So how are we doing over here near... or in Brazil? I think it's time to start attacking that one. Let's move in the... you know what? The tanks will probably take out that instead. Let's move in the artillery down here. Start supporting some of those attacks. And then do we have... some more artillery and AA down here. Bring these in. I suppose we've got the engineers over here, but there's probably not that much to capture, quite frankly. Bring the tanks closer. These can attack over here. And looks like our attacks on both of these garrisons are growing just fine. I was a little bit concerned, but yeah, that seems to be going... I mean, these, well... running a bit low on supplies, but other than that, it's not too bad. Then there's a supply truck over here. That might actually do quite a difference. 20 days for the urban renewal. And that's going to change the outlook of the... actually, I don't remember if it does. But I think it does change the outlook of the... or maybe it's the urban renewal level 2. Or like how the cities look. Don't... has anyone researched it yet? No, the British still have the old style, we still have the old style. I don't think there's anyone that's researched the tech that changes the outlook of those cities. Not that it's like, it's just a visual thing for the most part. There we go, the tanks can move in there, we can bring in the supply dock together with the artillery. And this infantry can move in and start attacking the next town over. Right, so if we push in further west, we could capture some more towns, but I think right now it's better for us to capture the Recife area and then just continue along the coast for the most part for Aleza, which is the capital right now. Bringing the artillery a little bit closer once again, and then these I'm going to send to the coastline, capture that town next. Probably need to do it in 2 attacks, unless we bring in the artillery to support them, which we probably should. That would speed up things. And then we got some tanks over here, let's capture some of the roads, whereas these can start moving down here. And how are we doing in Peru? How's the supply situation in there, first things first? It has spread quite decently, I would say. I mean, well, some of the areas are not that well supplied yet, but the situation is improving. We've got some infantry arriving there. These 2 can attack a town. Oh, there's 2 garrisons. Oh, right, we had to pull back, didn't we? Right, I remember now. I've somehow managed to already forget that for a little moment there. I suppose that's just what you get when you're trying to focus so many fronts at the same time. Right, let's move in the tanks a little bit closer. The artillery hasn't reached in yet. I don't know if they can actually move through there. Let's send in the infantry to clear up that one. And then I suppose it's time to send in the infantry into the jungle, capture yet another town off to the side, and then continue along the road once again. Does Brazil have any military production anymore? No, they do not. There's still got, of course, some garrisons, but that's about it. They can't really get anything beyond that. Oh, there we go. So the artillery, if we move it in there, it will be within reach, and then we're going to utilize that to deal some damage on the enemy garrisons. So we won't move the tanks quite yet. Although, speaking of tanks, I think it's time for these to attack. Plus we could send even the engineers. If we have enough damage being dealt with quickly enough, then we won't take a lot of damage ourselves. Which would be the ideal situation. Did we have the... Oh yeah, we did have the anti-aircraft guns, among other things. There is an airfield over there, but I don't think there's actually anyone at the airfield. And I suppose another thing that we should probably do is send in the engineers over there to the flank. Just help guarding some of the areas. And then these tanks... Are they back to full combat type? No, they're not. Okay. We could utilize the infantry on this next assault, I suppose. Should be doable, at least. So how is Peru doing? They got pretty good, at least, military approval rating. Domestic, it's 25%, so it's not the worst, but it's not particularly great either. Get into the town there, and then we're going to attack along the road again. And speaking of along the road, let's take these tanks and start pushing forward. We've got the artillery support now, so we should be able to deal with these without running out of supplies, presumably. At least the artillery is dealing a decent bit of damage overall. Now, we'll be taking some damage ourselves as well, so it's not going to be just a walk in the park. Well, I suppose it depends on the park. Right, so 2 weeks for the urban renewal. Infrastructure rating goes up, which means that we can probably start reducing the funding of the infrastructure. Because it's already, well, it's pretty good rating already, so yeah, we can probably reduce the funding a little bit. Nothing massive, but just enough to save us another few million, I suppose. Send these forward. Let's bring in the artillery closer as well. And then we can send these into the city. We can bring in the artillery closer. Got some tanks over here. We can probably capture that. There is some supplies in here, actually. Well, let's move forward. Alright, we cleared that already. How's the combat? Oh, right, we started fighting the airfield over here, just about. But it's just some of the more advanced specimens right now. Everything else is still waiting. We could send in some tanks, I suppose, to assist in this, and artillery. That should make a bit of a difference. And Hungary is back to non-aligned. Alright, well, there's not that much of that. I mean, I suppose there's some things that I could do about it, but it's just not going all that well. Right, how about we just entrench all of these into one massive group. We'll have one of these. I mean, I suppose you could probably be tagging along with the tanks around a little bit. We'll hopefully push through here. This is not going to be all that difficult, is it? Once we just get all of these in position, we'll be fine. We can bring in some artillery within reach once again. Send these further north. As well as these could be pushed right about there if the enemy planes are still going to be active. I don't know if they will. I mean, maybe a little bit, but probably not to a massive degree. Let's get the infantry forward, and then we can move into tanks to assist. Right about now. With these tanks assisting as well. We'll have such a massive firepower that we won't take that much damage ourselves. Although there is this one specialist which we'll probably have to just be left behind for the time being. But the rest of the infantry did rather well. Entrenchment over there. Right, so we've got our second group of tanks over here. We're going to start pushing towards Lima from the northeast already. How's Brazil doing in the meanwhile? Or our attacks in Brazil, we've not really been attacking right now. Let's just move in there. We can move in the artillery closer. Once more. These can start taking out the industrial complex garrisons. Not going to be moving into the industrial complex yet. We're at least doing some damage in that region. And did we have the... yeah, we got these tanks here. I think it's time to move in these a little bit further north along the coast. While these just move in there, except that one, I'm just going to have it move off to the side. Which Germany wants to buy some more petroleum, alright. Right, so the infantry is still on the move, so they're not quite ready yet. We could probably start moving some of these troops closer. We can move in the air guns closer, as well as the artillery a little bit closer. Same over here, I suppose. We can just sit on the airfield town over there, I suppose. While these infantry units are slowly crawling forward, or marching forward. Got some more infantry over here that could be pulled in to the next set of combats over here. Yeah, they got some troops over here, but nothing too bad, I'd say. Especially with the artillery support and all that, we should be able to clear out this fairly easy. We still have some artillery over here as well. Don't think we necessarily need this much artillery, quite frankly, but we have it. Ah, there we go, so we can push in to the town here. We've been bombarding some infantry over there for a while now, apparently. And let's bring in some artillery closer here, so we can maybe bombard the troops there. And in theory, what we could do is we could try to attack over here already. Although the artillery is going to be needed most likely. We'll see how badly it goes. Oh, actually, I'm not going to move in through there. We're going to move over there first. Clear out that one. We're not going to move into that one, but we'll just clear out the garrison there, and then we're going to move in here to clear out the garrison down that way. Move in the artillery. So we're going to give us some more extra support over here. There we go, that's now cleaned up. These will probably need to wait for a while, but we can start, or just have them sit there. Technically speaking, we're bringing the second group of tanks now. Is that a coastal province? No, that's an ocean province. Right, well, I suppose if we move in there, we can still destroy the garrison over that way. Or we're going to try destroying the garrison over there first. But regardless, one way or another, they will fall. Let's just take the infantry stack over here, entrenched to there. The tanks are going to be destroying some of the units surrounding. Moving the AA guns closer. Consuming to Iraq. Alright. As soon as the infantry is just about to be crossing the hex border there, move these in. But the tanks will probably take the damage, which is most likely better for the infantry. Because the enemy troops don't deal that much damage overall towards hard targets, so we should have a pretty good situation overall. Okay, now they started shooting at the infantry there again. Not really surprised by that. There we go, that's been cleared up. I guess we'll just have the infantry move forward. Did we? Oh, yeah, we wanted to get the tanks over here. That is a lot of troops there, though. Oh, boy. I don't know if we can realistically get through this from here. Or from the north, because whichever... like, we can only attack from one point. Which is, I suppose, if we just stockpile or stack the troops in here. Entrench. And entrench. Should have the sort of firepower to clear this fairly quickly, and the garrisons are, yeah, they're not going to last very long. There we go. So how is the enemy support now? The military approval rating is still 98%, and domestic 25%. So we didn't really do that much of dent in that. But now we're going to start clearing out the southern portion. Be able to do the damage rather quickly as well. Where's that going? Don't think you're allowed to go there. I think it's neutral fire, but that's not really a surprise. These probably need to rest for a little bit. Yeah, they'll run a little bit low on the combat time. So for the next bit, we'll probably want to bring our infantry in again. Oh, why is that? Oh, there's some landing ships over there. Alright. Well, I suppose we could bring in some more tanks from there. If nothing else, I could send it in a group of tanks to just cut off the reinforcements route there. And then start attacking the garrisons to the north. Are these ready? I think they are, actually. Alright, well, let's get into the city then. What could possibly go wrong? Other than the fact that there is a decent bit of garrisons in there. And they got okay defensive bonuses in that location. So we'll probably have to pull back some of the tanks in here, but we can at least weaken them enough so that once we bring in the infantry, we can capture Lima. If nothing else. Right, let's just start attacking from there. We can send these in and clear out the artillery over there at least. As well as keep the enemy reinforcements at bay. Are these out of combat time? Oh, yeah, they are. Okay, let's just go ahead and entrench these around here. And wait for the infantry to get over there. Would destroy a large chunk of the garrison. We didn't actually destroy any of the units completely, but if they go down below, then it will be actually less units. They'll reorganize the troops, basically. We could probably attack here now. They got some military base over there, but they won't have that much defensive bonus. We'll be able to clear those troops fairly quickly. Including a lot of the ships that try to escape. Oh, they got a unit in there, alright. Oh, these are out of supplies now. Do we have any supplies there? Nope, not really. Well, at least we got into the city. It's just a matter of time before we start getting supplies in there, though. So we can just keep going. Alright, troops are almost here. You know what, I'm just going to use the move at the same speed with this infantry group here. Just to be sure that they'll get there at the same time. We're going to deal the max damage on the enemies. Of course, I suppose what we can do after that is just get in here at the same time. They probably don't have enough points, but we can push the enemy planes out. And also keep the sort of troops busy, or especially whatever artillery they might have had there. They of course don't have any right now anymore. Bring those back. Well, the infantry is doing pretty good stuff at Lima itself. There we go, so that's cleaned up. Let's get into Lima and clear. I mean, those garrisons probably are not going to be around much longer anyway. So we should be able to capture all of this now. Or at least most of it. There we go. Right, did they move their capital yet? They did now. It's Trujillo. Oh, an open renewal. Right. That is good. At least that one's researched now. Norway wants some more petroleum. Alright. Let's have a look at the funding for the infrastructure. The rating is 99.4. It hasn't increased yet. We're already, technically speaking, below the recommended investments, but it's, we just want to keep it around 100%. That's all. Of course, law enforcement is something that we also want to keep. So if you have a look at the total, what is costing us the most? Is it infrastructure, then healthcare? Both are quite costly in terms of the stuff there. Most of our taxes comes from sales tax. Or that's the single one largest, but of course there's a lot of other things that also give us a decent bit of income. There's 99 point... I'm going to reduce the funding over here by at least 1 million. That should be fine. And then I guess it's time for these tanks to start pushing further north. There we go. That has been captured. And with that, I believe we are actually out of time for this episode. Just a quick trade with the West Germans. We managed to capture a decent chunk of land in Peru. Of course, we still need to capture further north. And it's going to be a little bit tricky with some of the lack of supplies probably around here. Or at least we'll just have to wait for the supplies to spread in front of us. But beyond that, it should be fine. And once we capture that and, well, this region over here, it's probably going to be the end of Peru. Was Argentina fighting Ecuador as well? Yes, okay, so we can capture that as well. That shouldn't be too difficult. quite frankly. And after that, it's, I don't know if there's going to be more wars in here. Possibly. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.